happy parents and family members. It's Mrs. Davis. Welcome to Happy Place to Grow. And thanks for tuning in to video number 2, Reading at Home. Now, in the last video, the focus was on preparing for this time. So let me just review with you. We said that it was important for you to set up a good environment. Make sure you have all those materials ready to go so that the reading flows. Set time aside every day and be consistent. And then finally, you're going to need to be available and partner up with your child because they're going to need that support. Now, in today's video, we're going to get down to the nuts and bolts, the how-to, so that you and I can partner up and be on the same page with reading. These are skills I work on with your child at school, and I want you to be doing the same thing at home. So here we go. The first thing I want you to know is I'm going to be sending home a reading folder. Now, in this reading folder, your child will have all the materials they need. So let's take a peek inside. On this side, you can see that your child will have a book. Now, each book is tailored to your child's reading level. So every child in the class may have a different book that they're bringing home according to where they're reading. You will also have a reading log. And this reading log is just so you can keep track of the books that your child is reading, and I can too. You're going to put the name of the book, the date, and your signature. That way I know your child is reading and when they're reading and that you're partnering up with them. Also located in this book, in this reading folder, is going to be questions. I've got fiction questions and nonfiction questions for you. We'll talk about this in a few minutes. And finally, on this side, I went ahead and typed out all of the information that I've been talking with you about in video 1 and 2. I know it's a lot to take in, so I just sort of made a little cheat sheet for you in case you forget some of the things that we're talking about, or just want a little quick reminder, or maybe if someone else is working with your child, a grandparent or a caretaker, they've got the information on how to work on reading skills at home. All right, so let's talk about the reading itself. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is have your child go to their place, their environment, and have a seat. You're there with them, of course, and you're going to pull out the book that they're going to be reading. And the first thing I like to do is have my students look at the front cover, and then you can read the title with them. If they've never read the book before, they can make a prediction, a guess about what they think is going to happen in the story based on what they see and know, which is not a lot, of course, if they're just looking at the front cover. If they've already read it, then you don't have to make the prediction. You can skip that part, of course. After they predict and read the title with you, the next thing you're going to want to do is make sure, this is really important for young readers, that they take a picture walk. Now, a picture walk is where they're going to look at the pictures and browse through them. And when I say browse, that's exactly what I mean. They're going to slowly look through the pictures. And as they're looking through the pictures, you can have a discussion with them, pull them into those pictures, ask them what they notice, and talk about what they see the characters doing in the story. And as they're going along, if they've made that prediction, maybe they're going to want to change it, update it, because good readers do that as they get more information. So they're taking in all the pictures. They're not reading yet. They're just taking a picture walk and having a discussion. So this part can go a little bit slower because you want them to take it in. Of course, they're going to already see all the pictures, and that's not going to be a big distraction when they finish the picture walk and they're actually reading the words. They're going to be more focused on the text instead of the pictures. All right, now, after they take their picture walk, you're going to want to have them start to read, but before they read, I want you to cover any vocabulary words that you have seen in this book. that might be a struggle, maybe a special name. For instance, in this book, the elephant's name is Sharma. A lot of young readers may not be able to read that name, so you can go ahead and get out any special name, get that out of the way. If you see a word that is repeated over and over that you know your child may struggle with, go ahead and point that word out. Just get that hard vocabulary out of the way at the beginning. Now it's time to read. So what I like to have my students do is find a steady surface. So if they're on the floor, they can put the book in their lap or on the floor, or if you've made them a little space and they have a chair and a desk, they can lay it on top of the desk. Now, this is going to be really important because the next thing that I want you to make sure that they do is to track their print, finger point. So when a child finger points, they're going to be putting their finger right under each word, right under the beginning sound, so that they can track their print correctly and know where a word starts and stops. So they're going to be jumping up under those words. Now, young readers sometimes tend to be a little sloppy with this, so you're going to need to be there and remind them. We don't want them on the word or way up, below the word or above the word. We want them, I always say it like this, you want to tuck your baby into bed. Just put it right up under there. Okay, and this way too, they're looking at that beginning sound, which is going to help them and give them a clue as to that word also. So make sure they're tracking their print. If they're holding the book up in the air, and they're trying to hold the book, read the words, track the print, it gets a little bit awkward and they'll struggle. And of course, it's not really good for the books either. It tears up the binding. So make sure they're on a flat surface. Now, I always have my students read the title and also read the title page. Now, as your child is reading, they may encounter some words that they struggle with because, of course, this is going to be a book that is geared more to their instructional reading level. So that's why you're going to come. You're there to come in handy to help them and support them in their as they're reading and they get to a word that they may have trouble with. So you can remind them to, here's a couple ways that they can look at a word that they don't know. They could try to sound it out. If that doesn't work, they can look at a picture clue. Sometimes I even tell my students that they can put a blank in the word. They could say, the blank said, you have, and they can keep on reading. Sometimes when they put a blank, they keep on reading. Those other words in the sentence may support that unknown word and they may be able to figure it out. So they can put a blank in there. If they've tried several strategies and they just can't get it, hey, it's okay. Tell them the word. You don't want your child to be frustrated with reading and take so long on a word that they forget everything else that they've just read. So tell them the word, let them keep on going. Now, when they finish that first read, you're not done yet. You're going to want them to read a second time. We call this a repeated reading. Now, on this second read, you're going to notice a big difference in your child's reading. They are going to be more fluent and more confident because they've already read the story. They've encountered those words. They've tackled those tough words that they might have had trouble with on the first read. They know what's happening in the story because they've read all the way through it. So that second read is going to be really important to help with fluency and confidence. So make sure as they go back that they read that story a second time. And of course, these books, these early reader books, they're short and sweet. And so it won't take them any time at all. So that second read is really essential. When they finish the second read, then pull out those comprehension questions that I referred to earlier and said they were in the reading folder. I'm going to give you a list of fiction questions and nonfiction, depending on what type of book your child is reading. Just pull out a couple questions for them to answer about the story. And then finally, to close up, I want you to pull them in. I like to do this after we read. Did you like the story? And of course, whatever their response is, if they say yes, ask them why they liked it. And don't accept it was a good book. Dig deeper. Have them tell you what they liked. Give examples from the story. What did you like about the story? You may even want to share what you liked about the story. And hey, it's okay if in their opinion they didn't like the story. They can say that too and share. And you can say again, why didn't you like it? What didn't you like about it? So in this way, you're pulling them into the story and connecting them with what they are reading. All right. Don't forget, this week I will be sending home your child's reading folder for their reading at home time. I am so glad you are going to be partnering up with me and that we are going to be on the same page with reading. And parents, I want to thank you so much for participating with your child and joining me in helping your child be successful in the area of reading. All right, that's it for now. So until our next video, as always, have a good one.